this piece, I want to talk about interest rates. We're now into the third month. Now, I'm recording this on the 11th of December, and it's the MPC, the Monetary Policy Committee, will be meeting on the 14th. So by the time you're watching this, I suspect things may be a little bit different. However, right now, 2 months the MPC have kept interest rates at 5.25%. So we're absolutely right in this new chapter of stability. Now, another example to demonstrate that is if we look back at January 2023, the amount of products out there for you guys were about 1,900, just over 1,900 different products. Today, 2,982. We've got a 56% increase in products. That means more competition. That means lenders are absolutely open for your business and really want to lend to you. The Bank of England are likely, in my opinion, and you'll know this because you'll be watching, I suspect, after the 14th of December, to be keeping rates the same for a third month. Now, inflation is coming down at a decent pace. We've come down to what, 4.6%. Back in September, it was 6.7. So the trajectory is going really well towards their goal of sort of 2%. However, what I certainly don't see happening is the Bank of England taking their foot off the gas right now. So expect rates with the Bank of England to stay at the same. In my opinion, I said this last month, I don't see anything changing for the time being for another 18 months, really. So that stability period is about 18 months. However, let's look at my third bullet point, which are mortgage rates. I've started commenting back in September now that mortgage rates were starting to drop. And back in September, October, it was really about lenders opening up for business, being more competitive, putting their margins. But there's a second thing going on now. Now, what lenders do behind the scenes sometimes is lend surplus money to each other. So you take a bank, they've got spare savings account money in deposit accounts, savings accounts. They're not using that and as loans and mortgages, etc. They can't get rid of it all. So they lend it to Bank B. And they charge, obviously, a certain interest rate to lend that money out. And that interest rate is really, really interesting. It's called a swap rate. And it's an indicator of the confidence levels of banks, building societies, the financial markets as a whole, as to the stability of the market. Because clearly, if they feel it's choppy waters, if there's a lot of uncertainty around, and they're going to lend a big chunk of money to another bank or a lender, they're going to charge a higher rate. If there's calmer waters, there's more certainty, there's stability, then the rate's going to drop. So I want to show you a graph of these swap rates over a period of time. Now, if you're watching this on a laptop, you better see the graph nice and clearly. If you're on your phone, it might be a little small. So I'll just describe it for you. Across the bottom, we've got a time. And this timeline, this graph goes from August up to the end of November. So it's a 4-month period. And on the vertical axis, we've got the interest rate that the bank's charging another bank. And I've taken 6 examples here because banks lend to other banks over different periods of time. It could be for, as I've got here, as little as 1 year. They could lend money out for as long as 10 years and anything in between. But here's the thing. Here's the consistent point that you can see on this graph is that the trend is that the rate is decreasing across every period of time. And typically, over these last 4 months, the wholesale cost of lending money to another bank or institution has dropped by about 0.5 to 0.75%. So the important thing here is that saving on the wholesale cost of money is being passed on to you as the landlord. And that's why we're seeing a continued reduction in mortgage rates. Not only is it as a squeezing of the margins as competition increases, but the wholesale cost of money is also reducing. And it's the combination of the two while we're seeing this continuation of a reduction in prices. Now, will this continue? I don't think it will. I think as we turn into the new year, we're going to bottom out. So here's the thing. As landlords, now is the time you should be looking to lock in those low rates. My last bullet point says we've got 1.6 million fixed rates coming to the end in 2024. So if I'm talking to you and your deal ends in the first half of next year, you should be thinking about locking in that rate now because we're hitting the bottom. What we don't want to happen is some surprise, something left field come out and spook the markets now, which will cause a spike in rates. And you've not got that new rate locked in because you're being lazy or you want to leave it till the last minute. Lock her in now. There's no downside. We can get you the new rates locked in for your mortgage, and then you pause. You hold that mortgage offer for up to 6 months. So if your deal doesn't end until June, you can get your new mortgage locked in now, sit on it. If rates go up, you'll be looking smug. If rates do drop a little bit more, that lender will be swapping the rates, will be putting better products in place, and we can swap it as well. So do you know what? There's no downside. So if you want to discuss your deals, your portfolio, particularly those rates that are coming to an end in the next 6 months, then there'll be a link at the end of this piece. Just click on it, have a chat with the team, and let's see if we can help.